Hey Binky, how are you doing?
Great. Excellent. How are you?
I'm good, good. Enjoying the summer. Thank you so much for jumping on the call. And I wanted to personally interview you because you obviously had a fantastic transformation, being a busy, career-driven mom as well. And I know many ladies are probably in the same position that you were at the start of our journey. And I think your information, your experience would be valuable to share to possibly people who may be thinking about doing something like this program or any other program, but the goal is just to educate and empower others to show them that, despite the situation you may be in, there is definitely hope and there's ways to change. And I just wanted to talk to you about that because everyone's journey is very unique. But I think your story and your transformation, the experience that you've gone through will resonate with so many other ladies. So thank you so much again for being here.
Anytime.
Uh, just to start, could you just introduce yourself and talk a bit about you, where you work, where you live, and what you do for work, and maybe your family life, just a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody calls me Binky. I'm a wife and a mom of two spunky toddlers. I work in IT. I have meetings all day, almost every day. I commute an hour to work. Um, so I do have very limited time to myself. But just I would like to spend most of that time on my kids because they need me. But definitely trying, my best to be the best mom and the best wife, and now the best self, I guess. Yeah, that would be me.
Thank you. So before we started the call, we just had a brief conversation, and I was commenting on how great you look. And before you joined the program, we had I guess an assessment call to see if you would be a good fit. And this is when we discussed the things that you wanted to achieve and your current state back then and why it was challenging for you. So I just wanted to ask you, I guess in the past,
Mhm.
and probably still to this day, there's like I know there's always going to be things that are changing. But I guess in the past, can you talk about the things that you were struggling with and the state that you were in back then?
Yeah. So I've always been conscious about my weight. And I do a lot of things to keep it controlled. Um, I know gym and diet is the key to healthy life and fit life. And so I've done that. It takes a lot of me to do the gym. I don't really enjoy it, nor do I want to do it. But there are certain times where I had to do it. But it's the gym and the diet combination, not just gym alone or diet. That's the one that worked, but it had to be with someone. Like I had to have a trainer. I had to meet someone. It's not something that is just innate in me to do. So it was very difficult to maintain and become sustainable. And so I moved to Canada, got married. We enjoyed a lot. We were very happy, and we enjoyed through food. So being in a new country, new food, new portion size. So it got a little bit out of hand, a little bit, until I found out I was pregnant. And then I actually, before that, I was in keto as well because, again, it was getting out of hand. So I tried keto. Okay, this is doable. But then I found out I was pregnant. and I decided that's not the best diet for being pregnant. And anyway, after the pregnancy, um, I just gained so much weight, like a lot. And it was very hard to um, get back to where I was. A lot of people were saying, after you've given birth, you'll lose the weight. Um, but it never did. Especially, I was focused on becoming a new mom, learning how to do that,
Mm,
and also trying to drive my career forward. So that balance, and it was I just didn't have time to think about other things, or
right.
go to the gym, or what other diet can I be in. I just didn't have the capacity, like my brain power can't do it.
Yeah.
um, and then eventually I had another kid. Now it's balancing two of them, while driving my career forward. And it just, I took a back seat into all of that. I didn't have the time to focus on me. Um, and then I realized that, hang on, I have been phasing myself out of pictures, for example.
Right.
I I experience a lot of things with my kids. I make sure that they're getting, their core memories, but then I'm not in them in the photos. I'm in them, um, as much as I try to be, but then if I look back, it's just them. Like I'm not there in the photos, and that's because whenever I see a photo of myself, I was a little grossed out. So and we have this thing at work where they try to encourage you to become healthier. So they have a little bit of encouragement for you to um, do anything that's healthy. And so I've been looking for something that I can do. Definitely, I struggled. Should I join the gym? But I hate the gym. Should I just do something just so that I can do something? But I couldn't schedule it with my time, my day, because I wake up early, I go to work, I come back home again late. Sometimes I do overtime, and then I'd like to spend that with my kids. So it's kind of very, very difficult to schedule something physical,
Right.
or even just going to meet a trainer. It's just it doesn't. I can't fit it in somehow. So that was my struggle. And then Mark, um, he showed his transformation, his mighty transformation, and I'm like, huh, okay, maybe I'll ask him what he did. And then so he told me about this program, and I thought that that actually is very doable with my schedule, and is very, it's something, it's just living basically. And I felt like this program would be more suitable for me in terms of schedule and being able to sustain it.
Got it. Thank you. We'll talk about that. I kind of want to back to what you mentioned because I do get on a call with a lot of moms just like yourself. I just, if you can, you kind of just think back and relive that when you said you're in the you're with them making these core memories, but you weren't actually in the pictures. Can you describe that feeling and, you know, how did that, yeah, how did that experience go for you? And what was so, what did that mean for you, like deep down when you say that? Because it's a very serious thing that I hear a lot of moms talk about. It's just, obviously you're trying to raise your kids, do the best you can, but then sometimes it's a detachment. You're not actually in a lot of the memories when you look back. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah. So this is one thing that, we like pictures. I take a lot of pictures. I take a lot of pictures of my children. I take a lot of pictures of my children with my husband. And when I take pictures of the family, it doesn't look like it doesn't look happy to me just because I feel a little not uncomfortable, actually uncomfortable in the photo, and I'm uncomfortable looking at the photo, so I don't end up looking at the photo where I'm in. And it just sad, because I can't put up a photo of the family that I'm proud of because they look great, but
Right.
not me. And so I do have one up, and I see that every day, and I'm not like I don't look. Try not to look at it as I pass through it, but it's sad, and it's something that it's a little crushing because I make all this effort, I make all these memories, but I can't look back at them from a picture perspective because I'm not in them. Like I could, just with them and not with me.
Right. Very powerful. I do talk, like I said, I do talk with a lot of moms in that same situation. And the sad part is uh, they kind of let that go on for a very, very long time. And I get many ladies like in their, in their 50s, heading into their 60s too. And it's time that was lost, and they wish that they would have done something or knew something that could help them, because now everything in hindsight, there's a lot of regret. So I'm happy that you were able to find me relatively early and make those changes. And you said you found me through Mark. So I guess, what was it about Mark? Was it just you saw the pictures and then that's what attracted you to this, or is it having a discussion with him? Just curious, what was your thought process of, seeing him, maybe discussing with him, and then finally reaching out to me?
Well, as I mentioned, it's been a year that I've been looking for something. Part of this is because my doctor has given me some warning signals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that eventually would lead to medication, for example. So I'm like right there.
Right.
But so it's kind of the clincher that okay, I really need to make a change here. And I've been looking for something that will work with me and my schedule. And when I saw him post his transformation, I never thought of Mark being unhealthy. He looked okay to me when I last saw him. He looked great. But then I then realized, oh, he could actually look better or feel better, for example. Um, and I was quite surprised. So I thought, okay, maybe this is something. So again, I assumed it's a gym of some sort. And I asked him, and he said, and he showed me his meals. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, so how often do you meet at the gym? And he said, no, there's none of that. This is just strictly your education on your food. And that was it for me. I was like, okay, I could do that.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, we'll dive into your experience, but before we do that, let's talk about results, because this is what everyone loves to hear first. So can you talk about your results on the program in terms of metrics, like weight wise, during the time that we worked together, the last, 3 to 6 months? Can you describe that for us?
So I one of the biggest achievements I have is I can wear my wedding finger. I mean, not finger, the wedding ring again on my finger, which I haven't been able to do since my first child. Um, and so, and now it's a little loose. Um, but that is one of the big achievements that is really close to me. Um, I've lost a little over 30 pounds since the beginning. The 12 weeks, I lost a bit over 20 pounds. And then I kept losing after that. Um, and I can now fit in my previous clothes that I didn't want to throw away. I've invested a lot of money in these nice dresses that I have.
Yes.
Um, and I didn't want to throw them away. And I had a feeling I'll come back with just the right the right motivation and the right guide. So now I'm back. They actually fit better than they were fitting when I first bought them.
So good, so good. That's amazing with the metrics wise, which again, that's what a lot of people get attracted to is, oh my gosh, look at Binky before and after those pictures and then how much weight she lost, which is all great, of course, but what I want to dig into with you is just your experience. So obviously, there's many ways to achieve results. You talked about doing the gym and working hard and all that stuff. But because of your specific lifestyle, your busy schedule, being a mom, your career. So can you talk about your experience on the program when with achieving the results and I guess why you feel this is different than other approaches that you have tried or may have been thinking about and you know, just talk about like how you feel this helped you specifically and why it worked incredibly well for you.
Yeah. So the reason I feel like this really worked for me is because it's just food. You're not providing me food, but I'm actually learning what food will work for me and my goal, and and being accountable to you on a daily basis, on a meal per meal basis.
Right,
Actually, I always kind of look forward to how you're gonna see what my choices are in terms of my goals. How does that affect it? And it shows me how I can adjust certain meals so that I'm fuller, and it still works for my goals. And one of the key, I guess, things is learning what type of food actually is not worth having all the time. Maybe once in a while, and you know the impact of that. Um, but it's not a daily thing or a weekly thing that you do. So you just the knowledge of understanding those which ones will have that type of impact definitely gives you a good information to judge the way you eat. And we have lots of free food here at the office. Lots of high calorie, not really nutrient dense foods. But the way this program worked for me is I was able to still have those. I was still able to socialize with my team, my work, and I did not say I can't have that. Sorry, I can't join because I'm on this diet.
right.
But um, I was still able to have that pizza with them. I was still, but maybe I added more salad on the side. So, um, which technically I wouldn't do before. Um, and yeah, and then if I'm with the kids, I can eat happily with them wherever they wanted to go. I'm able to adjust the way I eat with them. I eat by myself. I eat with my husband. I eat with, or the other thing is, I realized that putting the protein all the way in the front, like having that a lot of protein in the morning, kind of sets me up for the day, where I'm not panicking on what I'm going to eat for the rest of the day because I'm not really that hungry. Um, or it also, I have the knowledge on when, okay, this is a meal that's coming up at dinner. Um, Maybe I'll make good choices throughout the day so I have some leftover budget in my calories for that day.
Yeah, I love that. So thank you for describing that because a lot of times when people see the transformation and then they come reach out, they'll ask, oh, is this, what diet do you have to follow? What's the meal plan? How much exercise and do I do? And I say it's actually none of that. It's more what you mentioned is education. So teaching you and everyone else that we work with, the tools, the concepts, but how you put it together. This is what we worked on to ensure you use the tools in a way that suits you. And you did a really wonderful job with that, because I think you were eating in a certain way before, thinking that's what would work. But then you decided to start experimenting, like in the morning, setting up your day for success. And what I like too is there was a struggle. So a lot of people think, okay, yeah, you're just going to see immediate results. There was a little bit of a struggle at the beginning trying to figure out what works for you. And that's okay. That is part of the journey, really just trying to diagnose your specific lifestyle, your schedule, and then tweaking it in a way that works for you. And of course, using your own preferences. So it's enjoyable because I think a lot of people think, oh, you got to eat like greens all day and I got to cut out everything. But that's not the case. This is why having the knowledge is much more important than just following a plan that's written by someone. Because anyone can do that now, especially with the information out there. We have Chat GBT that can make you the most perfect meal plan. But if you can't execute it because you don't like it, it's not going to last. So the beauty is with us working together daily and slowly tweaking and incrementally changing or improving the way things work for you and you taking the onus of experimenting. I think this is why you were able to create this specific blueprint for you and allow you the freedom and flexibility to choose what you want. So if you did want to have the pizza with the team, or you want to go home and enjoy something more indulgent with the kids, you were able to do that. And I think that's why it was very successful for you is because you made a process and a plan that was actually enjoyable and realistic. And that's why I think you'll be able to sustain this long term. I also wanted to touch upon vacation because you went away. I remember
Hmm.
at the beginning of the program, there was a little concern because yeah, you're going to make a lot of progress, but you didn't want to just throw it all away on vacation. But at the same time, you've been planning this vacation for a while and you didn't want to just not enjoy while you were away. So how did you balance all that out after? Because that was after the first program and you were able to go away and you had the knowledge now and the tool set. And we know when you go away, it's not going to be perfect because you can't control the parameters always. But I'm just curious if you can speak on how you were able to now take the knowledge, you made a lot of amazing progress, and how did you were able to enjoy still and more or less maintain everything?
Yeah. So I remember I was stressing out. I lost all this weight, and now I'm gonna go to a, a cruise with a ton of food that's unlimited. But I don't want to waste, the money that I spent on the cruise by not eating. Um, and so I know you've given me a certain change in mindset on how I should look at that. That it's actually the money was spent on the time that you'll be there and the memories that you'll create, and not the money on the food. So I think that was very key for me, approaching the vacation. And so when I went there, I looked at what are their meals. Okay, so there's three meals as per usual, but usually there's a buffet. And for the buffet, I would skim through it, look around, decide what I really want to have, um, and fill in the gaps with, the nutrient dense foods, or like a salad, just to round it up. But definitely did not try to avoid anything. Um, yeah, I didn't avoid anything. I didn't have all of them because I didn't find everything was worth the calories. But I found the ones that I really want and that I really want to spend on. Um, and then just round it up with more filling items like vegetables or fruits. Um, and that's how I navigated through that.
Awesome.
And then when I came back, sorry, when I
That's
came
great.
back, I knew what I had to do to get back on track. So first thing I did the next day was went shopping for my go-to items.
Right.
So I know I can have those for the week that I'm back, and just kind of do a reset, and get back on track.
Love it.
But I let myself enjoy. So
Love it.
that's
Yeah,
good.
a lot of the program, there's a lot of mindset stuff that uh, you learn throughout, right? And one of the things we talk about is consistency. And I always say memories over calories. So when you have these moments, right, with your kids, your family, now you can take pictures with them as well. But yeah, you're encouraged and allowed to enjoy even like 2 weeks, because when you look at the big picture in the grand scheme of things, what's 2 weeks in a year? It's nothing, right? And as long as you are consistent most of the time, you'll be fine. And I love it because you had that system that when you got back home, you already knew what to focus on. So even if you gained a little bit of weight, whatever it may be, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because you were able to normalize and then you dropped even more, right? So that's the beauty of the whole system like that is just having a process, being educated on what to choose and following through it when you get back home. But while you're away, sure, you can be a bit more mindful, but you're not going to stress about over every little thing that you're putting in your mouth like many people do when they go away, right? And then what happens? They stress out over it, they end up overeating, then they say, forget it, everything's lost, I'm just going to go nuts. And then they come back home way heavier than they thought, and then they don't have a system to get back in place. And this is where people spiral out of the control, where you didn't. You were able to get right back on track and then keep going, which was amazing. So,
Yeah, and I'd like to add that after the vacation, I didn't think any of it. Like, oh, I didn't think, oh, I should have eaten this or I should have had more of that. It was just I was satisfied with my decisions on my meals. I even had two desserts at one time per for a dinner,
of course.
just because they were so good. Um, I think more than one time, but I was satisfied with the calories that I spent there, and I didn't regret at all.
I love it. See, that's when you're able to make informed decisions and you can own up to it and you're accountable for it, then that's the best part, right? So you're making the intention that, yeah, I'm gonna have this. It's completely okay. I'm not gonna feel guilty about it because I've already allocated for it. I planned for it. I'm going to enjoy it. And then I can normalize this later on when I get back home. So that's so great. Um, you talked about your weight loss and then, the rings, the dresses, being in pictures. We had an exercise or a task in talking about identity, right? And just curious from when you started in January to where you are now, can you talk about you now as a person and how has that shifted your whole internal being and your identity? Like, who do you see yourself as now? So I always ask when I talk to prospects, I always have them visualize, in 3 to 6 months from now, and you can be the person you want to be, look great, feel great in your clothes, have that energy. What do you want to do with that? What would that person look like and feel like? Would you be able to describe now this Binky 2.0 or 3.0? Who is this person?
Oh, um, it's always been a tough one. I never really think about um, myself or my identity. It's just more so like let's just live the life. And now that I've kind of made it to here, I know what I don't want to get back to, and that is really having being the best mom and wife to my family and my kids. Um, I want to be that person that they look and remember that, oh, mom is always there for me, and mom looks great and confident and strong. I want them to remember that I am there, like my kids are there. Sorry, my kids will remember that I am there for them for everything, and I am present. So I I want to be the memory. So I want to be in the memory, not just a memory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want to look back, be able to look back and be proud of everything that I went through with my kids, and be able to share that with everybody. So, whether it's just with pictures or stories, or even the knowledge that I have on how it feels to be on the healthier side,
right.
and try to influence my family or my coworkers, for example. um, that's where I am right now. And for work, for example, I can fit in this chair really nicely now, whereas before I kind of don't know how to position myself. I want to be. I want them to see me as someone with confidence, just carrying myself. Unlike before, where I'm always kind of shrugged over, because I don't know how to position myself. So definitely someone that can take charge now, with the confidence, and the I guess the image that I'm trying to put out there.
Love it. Obviously, all parents are going to be do as much as they can for their kids and be the best mom. But I feel now you can amplify all this with everything that you have, and everything that you change now, it's emanating and permeating outside, and it's affecting everyone around you, your coworkers, your family. And it's a beautiful thing. It's like leadership, and also that legacy that you're talking about is so important. And I love everything you said about that. So thank you so much for sharing. Um, I just wanted to know too, because there's probably someone watching this now and thinking, is this something that's going to work for me? Or I don't know if I should do this. What would you say to that person that maybe is on the fence? And like, who would you think this is suitable for? And who would do incredibly well based on your experience, and even the ladies that you've witnessed that transformed along with you? Who do you think that this program would be for?
Honestly, it can work for anyone, as long as you are committed.
Okay.
And like you, someone that is willing to make a change, and is willing to put in the work, um, it definitely will work for them. Someone that like me, I'm very busy. I don't, and I hate the gym. It worked for me, and definitely that will work for someone who's just trying to get healthy but can't get themselves to the gym, or stay or walk the 20,000 steps, or do a 3 times a week workout. It just to start, this program is really, it gives a lot of, I guess, um, it's a gateway to a healthier lifestyle. So it gives you a great head start, to just get where you want to be. And if this, like for me, my goal was to lose 20 to 30 pounds, and I got that already, within this time frame. And if I didn't start at that time, then I lost this time
Mhm.
of being me right now. So I see a lot of, um, I guess, friends or family that hesitated, to do something about their weight. And I'm here now, and they're still there. So, I highly suggest, anyone who wants to make a change to make a change now. And with this program, it's very doable within a busy schedule, even not a busy schedule. You may do a much more, get much more out of it. But definitely, it's meant for anyone that wants to make a change.
Thank you, Pinky. I think that's so powerful what you said about starting now. I do get a lot of people who, they'll push it off till after the summer or the new year. But there's always going to be busyness in your life, right? That's just the way it is. So always delaying it, it means it's never going to happen. Or you're always making the excuse that if you start something and you get busy, then you're going to stop, right? That's what you're training yourself to do. But when you learn to just start where you are and just fully commit, and you learn how to adapt, like you were incredibly busy, and you coming home later at night and still doing all the things that you did, being committed. And it shows, and it was awesome. And I always tell people too, the longer you delay, like you just said, that 6 months you've lost. So the longer you delay, you're delaying that new you, that new life that you can actually live, that you really want to do and enjoy with your family, your friends, your kids. And delaying is not really going to help you. And while it's never too late to start, it's never too early to start either. So, Binky, I just want to say thank you so much for reaching out way back in, I guess it was early New Year. Reaching out to me, having this conversation, seeing all the amazing things that you've accomplished week by week, the milestones, and then sharing your story because someone's going to be watching this and wondering, man, she did such a great job. I don't know if this is for me. And just by you explaining this and your experience, I think it can open up a lot of eyes. And whether they do Mighty Transformation or do something else for themselves, that's really the main goal for me is just to make sure that, hey, there's change that's available, whether you want to work with us or you can do it on your own. It's always there for you. And people like Binky, mom of two, busy career, she was able to do it and did a fantastic job. So, Binky, I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to be your coach and for coming on today and sharing your story.
No, thank you. I have a lot of uh, experiences that didn't really turn out well. But now I'm back to and much happier than where I was. So thank you very much for all your guidance, and really, you are the key to this program. Like I can't. There's no other program like this.
Thanks, Binky, and hopefully we'll meet up in person very, very soon.
Yep. See you
Okay,
soon.
take care. Have a good day.
Yep.